Hello everybody, first video of the year, so I hope you're all well. And today's video I would like to talk about, for those of you that don't know what to do when things get tough, okay? So I think it's important first of all to analyze what the problem is, right? So when things get tough, what happens is a lot of people try to freeze, they tend to freeze basically. And that state means inaction. Okay? So instead of taking action, they are inactive, basically. And why is that? Well, it's because of fear, if you think about it, right? It's purely because of fear. So if you are one of these people, your fear is related with, the decision or the fear itself of making the wrong move. And in your mind, you think that if you make the wrong move, it's going to be even worse, right? And also due to the fact that there is a certain uncertainty, take into account the situation that is leaving you, with these uncertainties and decisions that you need to make, all that kind of stuff. That uncertainty itself or adversity makes you like overanalyzing all the pros or the cons or the possibilities, and most likely your imagination of what can happen is putting you on the negative side of things, not on the positive, which is also, it's also a reality, also a possibility, right? But your mind is always going on to the negative, and this is quite common, right? But because of that, what happens is you are overanalyzing all the moves. What if this happens? What if I do this? Although I know that I think I need to do this, but if I do this, then this other thing can happen, and then if this other thing can happen, there is a consequence about like this other thing here. But at the same time, if I don't take this move, this other thing happens as well. I mean, all of these kind of situations, right? So you go like round and round and round and round in these cycles, and the more you go on this, and actually, the more paralyzed you become. So this is actually something that is very common, very well studied, which is analysis paralysis, right? So what this means is that the problem of this actually is the fact that the more you go on to this, the more stuck and the more tough the situation will become for you. This means that when you froze during these times, tough times, then you're gonna lose opportunities also because of this situation, right? Because you're not ready. Because if only you would do this, now that this opportunity came or whatever, right? And then what this also do is it fuels the self-doubt, and avoiding like making decisions like this, it's also something that will perpetuate the problem. Okay, you're gonna gain like the habit of avoidance of making future decisions, which makes your future even harder, right? So this means that you're gonna become even more stagnant, and without that movement of decisions, because decisions, that's what it means, right? You keep moving, right? If you don't move, then you're gonna become stagnant. It's just like the other word for it, right? You either move or you become in the same place, or you stay in the same place, really, right? And this means for both your personal and professional lives, not only professional but also personal, because you cannot distinguish these two things. Yes, there's more life than work, obviously, thank God, but at the same time, one thing is really, it's integrated into another, right? Especially in the visual effects world, or any creative world, in which people that are in this world is because they really like what they do. So it's really attached to their personality, to their egos, to it's like an extension of who they are, right? So if you stop your professional growth, that means that there's like a very direct connection with your personal side of things as well, right? And so when it comes to the professional side of things, if you stay frozen, then most likely your career is gonna regress, not advance, but potentially regress due to the lack of action in these critical moments, right? Critical periods. And because of that, probably gonna feel overlooked, or if you already feel overlooked, it's gonna fuel that even more for promotions, for roles, for new jobs, for new companies, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, of course, there's this emotional impact, which is probably already something that if you are in this situation, you're already feeling. So the fact that you're not moving anywhere, it's just gonna fuel that even more. And it will increase your stress levels, it will increase the feeling of dissatisfaction, it will probably increase the chances of burnout, which is no joke, by the way. And one of the most fundamental things, especially to the people that come to us in situations like this, is that they basically have like something very real to solve when it comes to the self-confidence. And moments like this, in which there's like this, in which you have like your mind racing every single day about could have been scenarios, most likely always taking your mind to the worst case scenarios that probably they will never happen, but those are like, it's just like your mind protecting yourself. That has like a very real impact on your confidence. And then this confidence will also fuel the lack of, that is, it will also fuel the reasons and the basically the moment in which you feel stuck and don't know what to do. Because you don't know what to do because you don't have the confidence to take that step. And if you think that you take that step, then you don't know what will happen. And then, if this is even prior, right? But then when it comes to the professional side of things, if you prolong your inaction, right? Think about it. If you have something to solve and you prolong that inaction, it will basically sort of like erode your self-belief and also your professional credibility as well for yourself, and then the image that you project to others regarding that credibility as well. Look, I've been in situations like that as well, right? But here's what I did. I was always like really pragmatic about what I wanted for myself. And I imagined that I wanted to, like, a vivid picture of a better professional life for myself and personal life as well as a consequence, right? And so the steps that I took was basically towards that, making that, imagine like that picture in my mind a reality. And so it was like a natural step or steps as a consequence of that desire, if that makes sense, right? And when you do this and you put your imagination on the positive side of things, if you are able to get there, then everything flows way more naturally, because the steps that you're taking in order to make that a reality, you don't even noticing that's happening. But that's basically, as if you are thirsty, you know what to do, right? You just go and get a glass of water, right? It's just as simple as that. It's the same kind of situation, right? But if you are always going into the worst case scenarios, always thinking about what if this, what if that, then you're going to become paralyzed. And that's just, I've seen this happening so many times. And I'm not going to lie, it happened to me too, So that's why I'm talking about this from a personal perspective too, right? And the reality check here regarding leaving this unaddressed is that, first of all, nobody will come to magically save you of that situation. This is something that it needs to come from you. There won't be like anybody to say, you know what, I have this amazing opportunity for you. Come. It will not happen, okay? Nobody will come to save you. At the same time, if you leave yourself in this situation, which is potentially stuck in this decision-making process, or what if this or what if that, well, you're going to be in the same place and you're going to be exposed to the same things in the future, right? Think about it, right? It's just like we've seen this before, to be honest with you. You're going to perpetuating the situation. I personally seen this before when it came to the pandemic, for example. But we don't need to go on to these like big events that happen in the industry or in the world. Just like something that I think is easy to understand, right? If you don't do anything about the situation that you need to solve, due to the fact that you cannot solve because you don't know what to do, because it's tough, then what the natural consequence is that you're going to stay the same. And also, one of the most important aspects of this is the fact that if you don't do or anything to have like something extra about yourself, something different to offer, not only gonna stay the same, but the reality is when you go on an interview, for example, when it comes to the job setting, I mean, you don't have any edge, any difference to elevate your credibility amongst other people, right? You're just like in the same state as you've always been before, right? So you won't be able to negotiate better terms. You won't be able to negotiate better roles. You won't be able to, elevate your confidence even to think about that in reality, because you are in the same situation as you always been, and now you are potentially going to be forced into accepting whatever thing and whatever terms someone else tells you, because things are so tough and you don't have anything, and you feel like you don't have anything extra to offer, and you have all these self-confidence issues about you, that of course, thank God someone offered me something. But the reality of the situation is that you're going to perpetuate that cycle once again, you know? So tough times, if you find yourself in a tough time, the way to go about this is not to find the perfect moment or perfect conditions to do whatever you need to do. You need to find it in you, the courage to take the steps that you think that you need to take in order to use those moments as, opportunities. And it's not waiting for everything, as I said before, to become perfect, because that will never, 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 never happen. There's no perfect moments in anyone's life. There's perfect, like, small moments, but not like all the conditions meant to do for you to do this or for you to do that, right? You need to find it in you, and once that you start, taking that step, you'll see that you will be able to adjust things. It's not, aiming first and then shoot last. It's actually the other way around. You shoot first and then you aim last, because you make it work, right? If you are waiting for all the, the perfect conditions for everything that you're about to do, there's a very good indication that you're not going to do it ever. I've seen this multiple times, I cannot tell you, right? And another thing that most of you are not even considering, which is more a strategic move in a strategic piece, thinking process, is if everyone is in a tough situation due to the fluctuations on the market, or due to anything that is potentially affecting more than just you, if the majority of the people feel the same, and you take a different move, meaning like you do something extra, you are automatically putting yourself ahead of the majority. Think about that, right? If everyone is in the same state and you are one of the few ones that do anything extra that will boost your credibility, or will, make things, elevate your profile somehow in a different way, not do what other people are doing, something different, something more tangible. Especially in those moments when things get tough for the majority of the people, especially in these moments, if you are the one of the few ones doing things differently, you have like a lot of opportunity potentially waiting for you. It might not be immediately, but it might be. You never know, right? But definitely you will have a way better chance of getting yourself out of that situation, just because you've made the move while the majority stayed the same, right? So think about that. It's sort of like a strategic move here, right? And facing and overcoming difficulties in moments like this, it's normally when you really discover what you're all about, and it covers strength and potential even talents that you don't even knew that you had it in you. And there's a lot of opportunity just because you put yourself out there. There's probably a lot of opportunity that is waiting for you that you didn't even consider, because you're just frozen in time, right? So hopefully you got the message in terms of like how to think about these moments in a more strategic way. So you need to find the courage of taking those steps, because life, and if you think, and I've seen and I've said this before many times, if you look at any personality that you look up to, it doesn't need to be related with VFX, by the way. If you look at any personality and you read about their biographies, for example, you'll see that they became successful in the people that you now know because they took, bold moves at times in which the majority didn't do. And that because they were the ones, again, the thing that I was saying before, because they were the ones taking those moves, right? Having the courage of taking those moves. Now they are the ones that you look up to, or you think about, or you want to know more about, right? This is what life is all about, if you think about it, right? So I hope this helps you navigate situations when they get tough a little bit better. And if you need help, just look at the description below and perhaps we can help you. But independently of any of this, I hope you get the courage on this year to become something different and achieve something different, but it starts with action. Because if there's no action, you're gonna find yourself in the exact same situation as last year. Because, it's just like, it's basically what happens, right? So I hope you liked it, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye-bye.